to Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast, episode 294. 294?
That's the
294?
one. 2 plus 4
294?
divided by 2 is 3, and 2 plus 4 plus 3 is 9.
2 plus 4 plus 3 is 9?
Yeah. 294.
Oh, I guess that makes 5, and 5 and 4 is 9. Damn, you beat me to it this week. Mine was dumb. Mine was 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 is the number that
It's
comes
not
before
9.
9.
2 plus 4 divided by 2 is 3.
Where are
And
you
your
getting the
2 and your
second
4.
2?
Well, it's the 2 and the 4 again, you know? You go
I've been
2,
out
4, 2, 2, 4.
2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 5, 9.
Where are you getting the 5 from?
Well, next week's 5. So I'm just
And you're
borrowing
asking
next
me
week's
where I'm
5.
getting the 2 from?
I'm just borrowing next week's 5. You know, it's been too many of these things. Hi Bruno.
Hey, Nick.
Oh man. Big news.
What's that? What's the news?
Oh, there was no big news. I was just trying to preface something into being bigger than it actually is.
Okay.
To start with, I will have F1 pictures to show next week
Oh
because
boy.
a lot of teams between now and next week are releasing
Doing
their
the
cars.
cars.
Yes.
Nice,
I am
nice.
getting hype for F1 in the sense that
We're getting there.
I can buy a hat maybe on. I've been disappointed in the hat selection for Williams for a while now because they have trucker hats and I'm not a trucker hat type of guy. I think you would be
Okay, fair.
happy because I think you like a trucker hat.
I have had my trucker hats. I'm a big flex fit hat person.
You've told me I do have
So
one flex fit hat and I don't hate it, but there's something to be said about the adjustable fit one, not the plastic one, but like the cloth like belt-esque style.
see, I think the belt is the worst solution to it
Really?
because of the buckle.
See, but it's like just a small buckle.
Yeah, but it's a buckle.
So I criticize your flex hat thing, but I use flex belts. Like I use elastic
Mm-hmm.
belts.
Yeah,
Best thing ever. Why do I want a belt that will not adjust to me standing or sitting?
that's fair.
Yeah. So like what is I to do?
What do you do?
But yes, I will have car pictures. I hopefully will be happy. I hope we keep the battery.
Battery was a
I'm
good
I'm
design.
I'm big Duracell energy. I think it
Fair.
is possibly one of the coolest advertisements a car could do in the sense that it both makes sense and looks good.
It do look good.
So that's my hype. Other small news was no Andretti. No
I feel like
Andretti
that wasn't happening anyways.
till possibly 2028.
Oh, that's farther than I expected.
Yes. They um the idea is that I think in 2028 they have to redo that Concord agreement, not the grape, but the agreement.
Good grape.
Which is it a good grape?
I don't know.
I forget what Concord. I think it's a red. Concord grape. I think it's a red grape. Yeah, it's a red grape. Well, purple. I don't know. Do you think grapes are purple or like blue?
I mean, normally I would say red or green, not purple or blue.
Bro, uh, Google Concord grape. I'm just
Oh,
telling you
okay.
right now.
Concord.
I don't
That's a purple that's got some blue in it.
close.
That's the juice grape, isn't it?
No. Well, I think that's like that a Niagara is the white grape juice, but I think a Concord is the grape juice that's not white, the other grape juice.
I'm Googling it. Concord grape juice. If you buy the purple bottle of grape juice, you're getting Concord good grape.
What do you what is the jam grape?
Ooh.
Like what do they
I
make it?
think it's the
Is that
same.
it's looking like
Hold
it.
on.
Like a Schmuckers or a Welch's. It's looking like it's like Concord. Um, you a
Good
Welch's or
grape.
a Schmuckers guy?
Um, I think I'm a
The only
Smuckers
reason
kind
I
of
think
person.
I like the Welch's squeeze top for jam to be able to like squeeze a nice little line of jam on my.
Sure. Ease of access.
However,
Yeah.
however, one of those core memories in my brain of like diner breakfast is the little like
The
varieties
packets.
of
Mm-hmm.
like Schmuckers like ooh what do they got in there today? Like ooh they got a mixed
Yep.
berry. Fucking slam that on some what
Yep.
I explain something to me, Bruno. Why do diners do toast so much better than I ever can do toast?
I don't know, man.
Why is their toast like so like good and like buttered, but like the bread, the crust is so like crispy, but the inside so like soft and buttered?
I don't know, man.
Do you
I
know?
think there's
Do
a
you know what I'm
time
talking about?
factor. I do. So like toasters, you're crazy, man. Okay.
Are they toasting it or are they grilling it?
I think they're toasting it, but they probably have one of the fancy conveyor toasters. I've used one of
Probably.
those in the past, and it's
That's what we had in college. Okay. You want story? You want story? You want story time with Nick?
it sounds like I do.
I'm just like in college, and my first couple years, I went to breakfast an okay amount, because we had swimming in the mornings a couple days a week.
Fair.
So that like forced me to like wake up and like go to
Eat.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Um, the one morning, the one morning I was there, I went to they had the conveyor thing as you're talking about.
Yeah.
But for everything like bagels, like all accoutrements of like
Okay.
bread based breakfast went through that thing to be toasted. It's my friend Noah. I swear to God, he got a bagel stuck.
Oh no.
A bagel got.
Oh
I was just
no.
like waiting for him to like go because like I didn't want to like just put my bagel in right after like he put his in, but his bagel got stuck. It was just lighting on fire because it's just sitting in
Yeah,
there.
that's a problem.
Yeah, like what do? You can't just put your hand.
Unplug it first
This
off,
thing,
so it stops lighting on fire.
it's this thing has a nasty plug. You're not just gonna start yanking that thing.
I
So
don't know, man. That's
we just walk away.
oh my god.
I don't know. He's just like looking around 'cause he doesn't know what to do. Hagel's just burning. I don't know. It wasn't that funny, but it was just like, what do you do when your
Jesus
bagel's caught in the?
Christ. What do you do when the bagel's stuck and catching on fire?
It's just burning and it's like stuck in there, and you can't. You don't. They don't have like a poker or anything like that.
Yeah, you know.
And it's not just that one, but the other half that's stuck behind it that didn't get caught is caught on the one
Ah,
that's
yes.
is.
Uh-huh. You're Slowly grating away a bagel, probably.
You know what the
Oh
funny
god.
part? It happened to him multiple times.
Oh Jesus Christ! What is wrong with you people and bagels?
It was the machine. It was shitty.
Maybe it just wasn't supposed to have bagels run through it.
Um, I remember like we were able to control the speed of. I guess that's how it works. But like we were,
Yeah,
you would manually control the speed of it.
yeah.
Um, and some people would have it really slow, and it would just absolutely. They didn't like understand the concept of it. It would be like I swear no one used it regularly. I think like people decided like, oh, I want toast, and they would like, let's figure this thing out. They would burn the shit of what they do, and they just never use it again in their life.
It takes like a half a loaf of bread to get it right, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because I was doing when I was with the fire company, we had a breakfast like once or twice a month, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of the time I was on toast duty, and I was just slinging loaves of bread through this toaster. It took some finessing to get it to work perfect, but after a couple rounds going through, you got a great toast, and man, that thing would put out some toast.
Um. Speaking of fire department stuff,
Great place to get a bagel stuck in a toaster.
probably not. They would just let it burn just to let you like suffer while you don't know what to do, and like unplugging it seems like a foreign concept. Um. We had that, and we had a panini press that like was like it was a serious panini press. It was like one of
Yeah.
those like those
Mm-hmm.
ones that like was pulling like 240 from the wall type panini
Yep.
press. I felt like. Um,
Probably.
they stopped like making it. We lost sandwich privileges while we were there. They like switched it to a station where someone made sandwiches for you,
Bummer.
and I never wanted to. The workers weren't. The dude was really nice, but he had like a mouse voice. His voice was like 20 octaves above like
Mm,
high
yeah.
mouse voice, and I just never had a sandwich after that. But speaking of fire departments, back to that. There's just a fire truck just sitting outside of my house. I thought they were like lost. They didn't have their lights on, but they didn't. They weren't really. They kind of like kept moving, creeping down my street as if they were trying to figure out where they're going. But I don't
Hmm.
think they ever did because they just drove off then. And you would say like, oh, maybe they're just going somewhere, which they probably were. But like the fire hall is like 5 minutes that way down the road. So they made it all the way here and then started acting like they didn't know where they made it a distance enough where they weren't like just being deployed and figuring out where to go. They like actively went a direction and then said, I don't know if this is maybe they were called off, maybe it was the wrong direction.
I'll give
But
you a
like
very
if
plausible thing. Driver
what?
training.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
I was
Prob-
dumbest system ever, but we had to log so many hours per vehicle of just driving.
Those
Like
are probably
supervised driving.
I s- are
I'm
so
talking the fucking pickup truck I had to drive 10 hours before they would let me drive it by myself.
so
A normal ass pickup truck. This is
for
after taking an emergency vehicle operation course, by the way.
how many hours?
10 hours.
Wow. How many engines do a fire truck have? Do they have like a second
Usually
engine to
one.
like okay, and that just runs everything?
And it's like a PTO driven pump or generator. Yes.
That's a crazy engine.
Yeah.
Only because I feel like that they pump in you can pump some serious amount of water through that thing. That
Oh,
thing must
yeah.
be cranking.
Yeah.
Plus all
Well,
the
like,
other like
yeah.
probably a serious alternator. It's a lot of lights.
Well, that's why I said generator. Some of them you literally. It, so all of them, or a lot of them, have a PTO for you to engage. So basically, you unhook it from the wheels and you hook it up to the power generation part of a generator or a pump,
Gotcha.
and that's what gives them the power.
I yeah, I think they're possibly just a machine I've never understood or thought about until now.
Yeah.
Um, how many gallons is there? Like, how much is it to fill her up?
Fuck if I know.
Never
I
filled her up?
Yeah. Uh, I don't remember though. And
Oh,
there's a story for not on the podcast about that maybe.
gotcha. I don't know if they took like 100 gallons of diesel.
Probably at least, yeah. I mean, it was like think like a semi truck. You had
Well,
big
yeah.
tanks. Yeah.
Well, I
Cuz
didn't.
like
Well,
I've been at on a scene for like 12 hours before
right. I've never
with
seen a.
this
I've
thing
never
just
seen a
like
fire truck fill up.
running engine up for PTO thing. Like they put some work in.
Where do you just? Can you just buy a fire truck?
Kinda.
What? What? You need a.
No.
You can just drive them.
Yeah. Well, it's complicated. A lot
I
of
would
them
assume.
have air brakes, so that means CDL. But in the fire company, if you needed a CDL, that would be like a volunteer couldn't do that.
Right.
Um,
I feel like it would be the same. Aren't like school buses air brakes?
yeah, and you need a CDL for them.
Do you need a CDO?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a different kind of CDL. There's different classes. Like I think a semi is a CDLA, but I think a CDLC.
I knew that one because I know like our flatbeds at work at
Oh,
like
sorry,
A.
B. B is
B.
school bus. Let me tell you, that was a weird thing when I took the the course for driving fire trucks. It was like sitting in class for a bit, which everything always is. Then we came back another day and it was like, hey, okay, here you go. Go drive the fire truck. And there I am, like this 17-year-old. And we all parked like out of the way to come talk and have a meeting, yada yada. And they're like, okay, it's time to drive trucks now. Go get your truck. And the people I was with pointed to me. And I was just like, okay. First time I ever drove the damn thing. And they're just like, yeah, go get it. It's a weird operation.
I assume. I assume they're automatic.
Uh, a lot of them now, I would say yes, are automatic. I heard many stories about the old tanker that was a stick shift, though,
Oh, okay.
which that would be a terrifying thing.
I just know like a lot of trucks and stuff have switched over to the automatic. Like,
Yeah,
seems
I would
like
say yes, automatic. I think all of ours were.
it just seems like after like I think even like big semis have been all not all. I'm sure you can find like
You
some
can
that
get
aren't,
them
but
still,
like
but especially in like business situations, if you don't own and operate your own, most businesses are going automatic.
I think it's like just like probably better for um uh uh what was I gonna say?
Like maintenance, I
Yes.
think people aren't gonna be fucking up transmissions because of user error.
Yeah.
It's
Probably better on
less
gas.
things going on in the cab. You're
Yeah.
probably right. It's better on fuel.
Is it probably easy to limit it or not
You
limit,
can limit anything.
but
My
is it easy?
my Ford Ranger had a governor that I couldn't go over a certain speed. That was
You
stick
didn't cut that
shift,
thing out?
bro. I don't want to mess with that shit. It's all in the computer. I'm pretty sure.
You didn't want to reprogram that shit?
No, don't.
You didn't want to jailbreak
It's
that
fine.
shit?
No, it's fine. I mean, it was
Um,
pretty high. I think it was like 96.
so you want to hear my weird work experience?
Sure. What's up?
So I'll leave this pretty vague. But I get the call in the morning. I get a call in the morning saying, "Hey, uh, please deactivate X employee's stuff." Like They're
Okay.
they're not gonna work here anymore.
Yep.
I'm like, okay,
I mean,
fine,
it happens. Oh, probably a lot.
yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Um, then I hang up and I start doing it,
Sure,
and
as one does.
yeah, so I do it, and then I like talk to the guy that I sit with in our office, and I'm like, oh man, I think this guy just got fired. He's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, cause
Okay,
yeah,
can I get a clarification question?
yeah.
Does deactivate to your company mean lockout, or does that mean delete?
Um, Depends on the situation.
Okay.
Like, if we get rid of a truck driver, no one really needs their stuff. They probably didn't do anything important.
Okay.
Anything like, any we don't. Our users aren't. We don't like provision into the EDL for like if we delete a user, his user deletes in the EDL, so they have all his logs and stuff.
Gotcha.
Um, Depends, but like if it's like an office person or a salesman, we'll like deactivate their account, revoke all their sessions. For we have to forward the email and stuff for a couple days, for not a couple
Yeah,
days, for like weeks.
I got you.
Um, but it's employee to employee. Um,
Makes sense.
so then I'm like, oh damn, I think he got fired, which was like kind of surprising because he like already had left and come back once, and like we
Okay.
rehired him the one time. So I'm like just sitting there, like whatever. Then later that day, I'm told they'll retrieve his like laptop and cell phone and stuff. I already like shut it down, but
Yeah.
he said he was gonna hand it in. Later that day, he like comes in all like happy and stuff, and just like, oh, here's your devices back, and like talking to me, like talking to everyone, just like just chilling, just saying,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe I misunderstood the situation. Maybe like maybe he was like leaving, and I thought it was firing, and it was just like they were panicking because they forgot to tell me deactivate stuff.
Fair.
I'm like, whatever, I guess I misread it, but I wasn't gonna say to him like, oh man, thought you got fired, because it just seems like a weird thing to say to people.
It would be. Yeah.
Um, so like I saw him, I was pleasant enough. I admitted to the people like, I guess I was wrong. I'm like, I thought I misunderstood the situation. But then like the next day, I was talking to his manager, and I was like, "Oh man, I yeah, we got his stuff back. I thought when you guys called me this morning, he was fired because like he came in, he was all happy, he handed his stuff in. I'm like, oh, didn't know if he like hit put in his 2 weeks, and you guys just forgot to tell me. He's like, no, he got fired. I'm like, oh, um, okay. I'm like, he was pretty like happy and chipper. Like he didn't seem phased at all. He's like, no, that was the weirdest firing I've ever had. He's like, it was like we were just joking around and like it was all chill and all that stuff. He's like, I was very unsure of the situation myself. I'm like, okay, because like
Yeah, it's a
I
weird
was
feel. It's
yeah,
a
I'm
weird vibe.
like, okay, I'm like, I thought I'm on the. I was like, okay, so it was just like a weird. Someone got fired, but was in like a pretty like a mood situation. I was just didn't know how to vibe it out.
Yeah, weird. Odd. Don't know how else to put that one.
Yeah. Um, did you see the pictures from last week? Or the pictures we were sent of our it was texted to us. It was of
I
the
did. Yes.
so
I need to
I
look
just
at them better because I think when I was looking at them, I had a lot of stuff going on.
So picture number one was the I don't know, I forgot we were able to keep it. But picture number one was the catapult that again
Yeah, that sure looks like shitty catapults.
um
I should probably get these.
uh that was the catapult. It was supposed to have a tape, the tape was supposed to be what the mousetrap sat on, but again, between arguing with them and without them about the tapering being a object that we are both allowed to use but not allowed to use, that was not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to be a part of the catapult. So it sat on
Yeah.
like cardboard. You can't see the copious amounts of glue on there, but I promise you it was there. Um that RC car was we had the small like so one of the pictures was oh yeah, the outriggers. So the whole premise was it was RC races, but you had to make 2 modifications to an RC car to race it. Um, uh, so we decided outriggers to like for stability and balsa wood reinforced frame because we didn't have a 3D printer at that time.
Sure.
So because we were the poor district at the time. Like everything after I graduated, like 3D printers, like all that shit. Um, so we had balsa wood,
Yeah.
and me and Josh fundraised a shit ton. Like you had to pay to go to states, but
Yeah.
they were like, oh, just write letters to a bunch of like Lions Club, VA, like all those like organizations. If you just write them letters, then they might donate money for you to go, like sponsor you. So
Yeah.
we wrote like 30 letters, I feel like, or it was an obscene amount of letters we wrote, and we just got a shit ton of money. So we were able to buy like an RC car to participate in this event. We paid for our trip, we paid for like another kid's trip.
God
Um,
damn.
but we bought this RC car and I built it, and it had hydraulic shocks. Those shocks
I
are
see.
filled with an oil.
I see that.
Thing was fast, other than the I don't know what to call it. So it was an electric motor with a little like act or like the I don't know what you would call it. Like whatever sticks out of the electric motor that spins.
Yeah. The shaft. Whatever.
Shaft. Well, the gear was one of those gears that you just like screw down on it.
Ah, like with a set screw. Yeah.
Yeah. That kept coming off because the engine was too powerful for the set screw, and I kept having to
Mm-hmm.
super glue it down
Mm.
or like hot glue it down,
Mm-hmm.
but it got too hot and then it kept like coming
Yeah.
off. Um, but that car was super speedy, super quick, but apparently we picked the smallest fucking car like ever to do this event for because some other team brought a fucking Ford Bronco that was like felt like a 1/16th scale. And
Just huge.
yes, so on the course that you had to race it around, there was a little hop. This Ford Bronco like body slammed our fucking car. Um,
Okay.
I don't have a pic. Oh, he probably has a picture of it somewhere. Uh, we apparently learned when we got there that we needed to. One of the challenges of the RC event was you had to take off and replace a tire.
Excuse me?
You had to take off a tire and put it back on as if like, you were changing out a tire. No one told me that. So all I had was this little like multi-tool that like I got in the kit to build it, to screw it, but it was like really
Yeah.
slow. So I took a screwdriver and I put it in the side of the screw that wasn't the right size. I like super glued that together so I had like a better leverage multi-tooled screwdriver. I got that tire off and on like as quick as possible. Other teams had drills and like actual tools.
Yeah.
I was not told I was not told the size of the RC car was inadequate. I was not told I
Sounded
had to
like you
replace a
guys were
tire.
very underprepared for
We were
this.
very underprepared for this. Um, we almost won though. Like we did very good.
You
Um,
know, sometimes that's all you need.
except those outriggers were deemed unsafe and dangerous to society, and we were forced to remove our modifications before the start of the event.
Lovely. You know?
They're best we had. First, they made us. First, we tried to tape. It was not even that unsafe. I have zero idea. Like the fucking Ford Bronco was more dangerous than our little goddamn outriggers. It's ridiculous. Um, but yeah, that was the car, and that was the. I can't believe he has. I'm not surprised he has a picture of the catapult, but yeah. So again, it wasn't a mousetrap. It should have been mousetrap powered, but it was definitely not. It was just
I can see that there's no connection.
yeah, there was a string tied to the edge of the mousetrap that like was the appropriate length it needed to travel, and we were allowed a small push, but they did not clarify what a small push meant. So I took it even though I took what I could get even though they like didn't clarify my goddamn tape issue, which I still find offense to. But, that was that. I'm happy to have pictures of that one. That was
It's
a
good.
good. You, for some to some degree in your mind, you could always doubt what I say, but sometimes the stories I do have,
Sometimes they're good ones.
sometimes they're based in all too reality.
All right. Do you want a reality story for you?
Oh yeah, give it to me.
So me and my dad were out the other day. It just snowed not too long ago. His van covered in salt. Okay.
Wash time.
He likes a clean van. But he said, let's go to the car wash. And I was like, all right, the car wash it is. So we went to a car wash. I don't even know how else to say this, okay? Go through the car wash. He has one of them sun visor things on the front. He no
Wait,
longer has one of those sun visor things on the front.
um, was this one of those car washes you sit on a conveyor belt and got dragged through, or is
Mm-hmm.
this one of the ones
Yeah.
that you just pull? Okay.
Yeah, it
Um,
was like a normal car wash. Yeah.
well, some of them are the ones you pull into and you just park and it does it all around you, and other ones are
Yeah,
the
no, it
fancy
was
like
not one
drive
of
through.
them.
Okay.
It was a drive up and it pushes you through and it's got all the things whipping
I think
around.
those are superior, but the one by my house is like $23 for a car wash,
So like the problem is they had one of them bars with the spinny thing
and it gets
that
the roof.
goes over top of the car.
Yes.
And that was a problem because it hooked onto this sun visor and ripped it the fuck off of the roof.
You're just standing there, and you're just sitting there helpless because you're just watching it get ripped
Yep.
off.
Then it was because it was a lit one. It had marker lights in it. So then
Yeah.
it was hanging by the cord down along the driver door. Like that
I,
thing was they were sheet metal screws, but they were big sheet metal screws into the roof. Like there are many holes. There are 8 holes in the roof of his van now.
was your dad happy he hit a clean man?
And it scratched the shit out of the driver door too.
Uh,
So, thankfully, they're taking care of it. But
oh, are they
goddamn,
really?
they are, yeah.
Why? I would
Because
not that I don't think they should, but like
I
I'm
was worried
surprised.
about it.
I would think they would say, "Hey, that's your fault for coming in with like something that."
Yeah, I was definitely worried about it. So yeah, it's like, how do I get these pictures?
I'm actually super surprised by that. I would feel like there's some like thing like we were responsible for zero damage to your car and the
A
like.
lot of them do have signs about like aftermarket, no damage. Like this thing was fiberglass, it just ripped it the fucking half up here. There's supposed to be like an extra piece here. There's just like, which is the good? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that one really shows that things are not okay.
Yikes!
Um, we just got like big ass holes in the top of it, so that's great.
Is
Good
that a
time.
cornicello?
Sure is. You wanted to hang it from the rearview mirror, so that's where it is. I think that was in my grandfather's truck.
Hmm.
So it's a that's a family cornicello is what that is.
Oh,
But
do
yeah,
you
going through
think
the car wash, this thing comes ripping off the top, makes an ungodly sound, and
now?
then just comes slamming down right next to me.
Now, do you think they're covering for it because they saw the what I'm guessing probably the handicap sticker somewhere, and they think, oh, it's aftermarket, but it might be because of like a disability,
Um,
and they like think like, oh, damn, we don't want to
okay,
fight that
so
battle.
short story longer. I pull up to the car wash, and this lady doesn't want to let me through because she's worried about the width and height of the vehicle.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you gone through this one before?
Nope.
Okay.
But through others. And
That's fine. I just didn't know if you'd be like,
yeah,
lady, this is the 8th time we've been here.
no. But like, if a car wash can take a full size truck through it, which there's one like two in front of me in the line, that is effectively the same size.
Right. Yeah. I just context.
Um, but it just, instead of being a pickup truck, it's longer and a bigger
If the
box.
if the pickup truck had a cab on it,
It's the same. Yes.
yes.
Like it still fits in a garage. It's not
Yeah.
like an extra high van or anything.
It's not a Sprinter.
So like we're sitting there waiting and she's like, calling on the radio and I'm telling her it's an E150. And she's on the radio. I got this 3E150F. Can it go through a car wash? And I'm thinking, oh God, the guy on the other end of that radio has no idea what the fuck you're saying because you're not saying anything I told you. And she was like, oh, my manager's coming to look at it to see if it'll go through. So I think that they might have sent a manager to look at it, and maybe they should have caught on to that if they were worried about it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm more
I
just
think to
surprised.
reassure me, he said something along the lines of, oh, yeah, it happens every once in a while. Like, this is something that happens on a monthly basis, I think.
I love it.
So,
I hate the
great.
situation for you, but I love the story.
Oh, yeah, it's a fucking terrible situation. I hate it.
'Cause now you have to deal with it.
Yeah. Now I gotta deal
Um,
with 8 holes in the roof of the van.
maybe next time you install something with more screws.
I've from day one have never liked this whole visor bullshit thing. From
But he
day
does.
one. I know he does.
Where you like, he's like, I want a visor, and you're like, no.
I was of the it ain't my vehicle, do whatever you want. But I'm gonna end up putting it on anyways, probably.
Does it block the sun?
No, it doesn't do shit.
Does it just look cool?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it had lights too, I guess.
It did. I mean, it absolutely had lights. Lights that he was unhappy with, and we upgraded to LED lights.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
What they were they always on?
they're like running lights.
Okay.
So
Could you make them flash?
sort of. No,
Oh. Okay.
I could not.
Shit.
No flashy.
Um. Oh my god. How many emails? Bad email. Okay. So I have been starting to use ChatGPT for
Yeah.
my daily job stuff. And I will
Like
say,
as in coding stuff or as in something else?
honestly, just Googling.
Okay.
So I have like the paid tier of ChatGPT. Um, and because that one can search the web, that uses
Okay.
4 and that searches the web. I don't know if I can find up like what it all says. GPT plan.
Jesus Christ. This is like charging in cents per tokens. What the fuck are
No,
tokens?
that's if you're using like API calls.
Oh.
It's really only like 2 plans. It's like ChatGPT Plus, which is like, can I expand this picture? Yeah,
Oh, I
access to
got it.
ChatGPT for browse, create, use GPT, access to advanced tools. Like, so like, the nice thing with like GPT 4, I don't know if it's that model or just like the Plus plan that actually searches the internet for stuff for you. So when you ask questions for it, it'll like go out and search like relevant information. Um, but it's actually been very nice just because it helps Googling used to be enough in the sense that you should be able to find anything you need. Now it's enough, but you have to sift through so much BS anymore.
Yeah.
It's becoming it's becoming not just like, oh, you have to get good at Google. It's you have to be good at Google and then just have time because it's never just quick anymore.
No, it ain't.
It's never. I mean, you still don't get me wrong. It's still out there. You still get the I have this problem Reddit. But anymore, it's I have this problem Reddit, and that just directs you to other people having the problem, and then
And
they
not
just take
telling
you
the
to
solution.
50. Well, no, they'll link you to 50 to 60 different places depending on the issue of like, oh, this Microsoft support article or forum and this. Like,
Yeah.
anymore, it's just you can be good at it. It's just time consuming because it's just too much anymore. And there's so much of like, oh, well, this Reddit post was 4 months ago, and it references a 9 month ago post, which you have to go to the end to get more relevant posts from like 3 months ago, and then it's just so much reading. So I would say I've been enjoying ChatGPT not just for code. I mean, I've used it to help me with PowerShell stuff. Like today, I
Okay.
needed to, I needed, I needed to answer the question, what emails in my organization are forwarded? Like what ones are there just living and forwarding emails that we can like so I know which ones can be actually cleaned up and get rid of. Like who find it. I know there's probably I know for sure there's a PowerShell command for probably Exchange Online that like would probably get certain parameters and stuff, but I
Okay.
don't I probably if I spent like 5 seconds looking I would have gotten the get mailbox command because I've used it before and it makes sense like that's what I want. But like I all I said to ChatGPT was, I need a PowerShell command that finds all the forwarded emails in my Microsoft 365 tenant. And in like 30 seconds, it generated me a PowerShell command that like got what I wanted, formatted it in a nice table, and then exported it into a CSV. Versus me, who would have probably Googled it with Reddit. That Reddit guy would have probably said some like BS close. He wouldn't just have given me the script
Yeah.
or the line of code I needed. He would have said, "Oh, you should use the get mailbox command," and I would have been like, "Okay, let's get mailbox. Go to get mailbox command. Oh, that has 50 parameters. Now let me read through every fucking parameter to see if one is the one I need. Because I can like maybe do a control F and do like forward or anything, but those parameters can be so vague at times. Sometimes you just have to read them. Um,
Yeah.
and then figure out how the parameter works because there's probably no example. It's just like
Nope.
dash this, and then after
Or it
probably
just tells
figuring,
you to use the help menu of the command.
yeah.
It's
So
like,
then it's
screw you.
probably you do another search of get mailbox dash uh SMT forward address because that's what they call it, SMT forward address. Not makes sense, but it's obviously what like I've just been typing forwarding, not like for I would have probably over typed and like not got it.
Yeah.
Um, and then you know I would do another Reddit post of how to use this with this parameter and like search for everything. So I would have probably gotten it in like 10, 15 minutes of like just like 5 or 6 searches of like how to use this, how to use that, how to use this. Where ChatGPT just gave it to me in 30 seconds, already formed out saying, hey, put what you want here and here. Like put what mailbox name you want here and put your CSV outlet put location here. And it just got it all. Because it can search through all that information instantly, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's the future.
Now, is it always right? No. Very much wrong
No.
a lot of the times. But that's where I think it's you have to I think instead of us being good Googlers, you have to be good AI questioners cuz
Like,
it's
when we went through school, we were taught how to Google things, basically. Whether it
yes.
was through lessons or through us finding that out and doing it ourselves. I feel like today's children are going to be good AI questioners, like you're saying.
Yes, because it's all about asking the right question and it's asking the question that you don't necessarily like you might think it's the right one, but for the AI to interpret it, you need to ask it the way it's gonna interpret it and give you the right result.
Yeah.
Um, which is a skill because it's very hard. It's like very conversational, but very not. I think the weird thing to think about is with a thread you make, it has context of the thread.
Yeah.
So I ask it a question about like make me a PowerShell command to, get all forwarded mailboxes. It gives me the code, and then I'm say, hey, I want it to also put it to a CSV. I don't have to re-ask the question. Give me a
Yeah.
PowerShell command.
You don't have to go up, copy it, and paste it to ask it again, and then add more to it. You just continue.
Yes. Now threads do get fucked after a while. Like you should just start a new thread because it kind
Sure.
you kind of get lost in the sauce with it all. However, it's the weird thing where you don't just like add stuff to your Google search. You have to like re-Google and go
Yeah.
down like a line of thinking. Whereas this is you just elaborate on your line of thinking, and it is will be more of an art that I think I if you have the opportunity to mess with it, I think you would enjoy it. Where for like some of your problems, I think it would help probably to some degrees.
Maybe. Yeah. Probably.
Not just when you're dealing with all your, burner related stuff.
Yeah. And maybe I gotta. Because I haven't really messed with it much, to be honest with you.
I just started.
Yeah.
It's more of a recent thing. It's definitely not there yet, and I don't think you have to be there. But one day, I think if you don't ever get into it, one day you will be behind,
Yeah.
and
Fair.
then the future will be now, old man.
I think I'll be able to keep up.
You will, but it's just
Yeah.
soon enough people will
No,
be
I'm with you.
GPTing all over your ass, and you'll be like, "Give me news." Um, yeah, that's my I
It might
think
be
the
able to
joke
help
for
me out with a lot of that Linux bullshit that I deal with sometimes.
and like that's the thing. Like there's so much information out there that it is pretty like the more reasonable the topic, the more better it is.
Yeah.
Like when you're dealing with the Linux, like oh I need a command. Like how do I install this? How do I uninstall that? Where do I get a driver for this? Like I need to make me a make me a shell command, a shell script that can execute that does this, and it just does. Um, I have I want to mess with Dolly. I wanna
See, that's the one that I did mess with a little bit.
yeah. I know you did with that, but now it's wrapped up into GPT or the Plus plan.
Yeah.
So I have that. I
That made me learn how important it was to be good at inputting I'm going to call it a prompt for
yes.
these AIs because me and Fee were messing with it and trying to make pictures and it was like that shit was hard to get what you wanted or anything close to what you wanted. But then you go on Reddit and people are like, "Oh, look at this sweet prompt." And they have this big string of shit that turned out this beautiful picture that was like exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, to some degree it's super smart, but to some degree it's super literal, I guess is the way I'll put it. If you just ask it for Sunset Beach, it's gonna probably have a little bit of a sun on like low on the horizon with a beach. Now what you really wanted was probably like give me a picturesque sunset on the beach where the sky is of multiple hues of purples, reds, blues,
Yep.
um, with the sun halfway crested down onto the water, giving that nice infinite like reflection.
Yep.
And you want it to be like maybe just a teeny bit cloudy, so the clouds get mixed in with the color. And then that gets you the picture of what you really wanted. But you just said sunset at beach, and you thought it would understand what you meant. Which is like you said, the strings just add so much context to the what it needs. It's very literal in the sense that it wants it wants you to give it details of what to do. It's not good at making up what you're trying to just infer. So, do you still have access to Dolly? I know you guys had like that weird access that was like 10 quests a day or whatever.
Well, I just reset my password and went in, and nope, I do not.
Because you were like a beta.
Yeah. I mean, even then, it was. I think that was just like the free version. It was like you get
Yeah.
50 a day, and then,
Right.
and I think Fee even paid for some for a little bit at one point.
Yeah. Um,
And it wasn't outrageous. I don't think it was like a couple bucks, and it let you do like another 300-400 pictures or something.
GPT Plus for $20 a month isn't for
If you're
the
finding
use.
use for it, especially in a commercial setting, I think it's there.
Oh yeah. Um, so yeah, that was my journey. I think it's gonna evolve and do. I do want to mess with Dolly more. I do want to. I was trying to recreate the crystal ball light logo, but it would only put so many icons in, and I couldn't tell it like Stream East. Put in like the Stream East one
Yeah.
because that's illegal.
Tell it you're gonna pull its plug.
I will kill you. You make Bing sad. That doesn't make Bing happy. The Microsoft one is Copilot, and that one's kind of cool just because like if you ask it for something like, oh, I don't know, this is dumb. Like give me the temperature of give me a temperature at my address over the last month and put it into an Excel sheet with like the date next to each temperature. It will actually build like an Excel sheet for you to download and then like have. So that's like the nice one. Same with like Word.
Just for instance, I just asked it to make me a script for Linux to install Steam CMD, and it did it in seconds. Told
Yeah,
me what to do, how to do it.
and it doesn't. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't just give you the script. It's like it
Well,
explains
it was
all
like,
of the script.
here's your script, save it, give it the execute permissions, run the script. And the script, I'm looking it over, it's making the dependencies, like installing dependencies and confirming to do it. Before that, it updated the package list, which is all correct things. It made a directory, it got the stuff it needs, it extracts it, it removes the zipped file, and then it changes the to make it executable. Yeah,
I'm trying to think
like
of any sort of question you could even elaborate on it, but it seems like it just gave you everything.
no, it just did. Yeah,
And again, not that you couldn't find. That would maybe be like again, you would start off with how to install Steam on a Linux, Reddit, and you would hope someone would just put that script in a Reddit post that you could copy and paste and be happy with life.
and they do.
And they
Like
do.
it's a thing for sure.
And but it's getting harder because it's just like less people. I don't know if there's more issues in the world or if there's just less help with things or people that just don't know as much. But like it's Reddit's starting to not be as helpful for me because some of the issues I'm running into are just very. I'm the one that's supposed to be like. I found issues on things. I think I'm the one that's supposed to be making the Reddit post about this is how I figured out solving it. Um, I had someone that got
Holy shit! It's so. Oh god, what did it just? Yeah, no, I could have used this for Pal World. Yeah, and it's even checking that there's a Steam CMD install. Yeah,
it's again. I think It's definitely the future, and I definitely think it's helpful, and I think if it is only ever gonna get better, it's gonna be a great thing. Um, 55. What? We need like 10 more. What else? I got wine weekend this
Holy,
weekend.
okay. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, it just went crazy. I
Did you ask
said,
about?
okay, so I said, can you make me a script to install a Pal World server using Steam CMD? That was my starting question, right?
Yeah.
And it did. And it was like, if Steam CMD is installed, if it's not, tell the user it's not installed. But then I said, I don't have Steam CMD installed yet. Can you add that to the script to install it?
hmm
And then it's a much more complicated looking script that I'm still like reading through a little bit.
So the things it does do when scripting is it adds a lot of comments.
It
I don't know if
does.
it
Yeah.
adds comments
They're
with
all over
everything,
it.
and then it's super big on error checking. So what you won't see with most people's is error checking. It's just like a typical script you'll probably find on like a Reddit or some forum about helping. They're just going to be like, "Oh, do this, do this." But it always adds a ton of error checking. To be like, if Steam's installed, do this. If not, say no. It always adds those three things. It makes any script look more like professional and or intimidating. My
And
guess,
and it's doing variables for paths to things.
yep, it's very variable happy because it thinks it. I think it's like save time later, so it's easier
Yeah.
for it to process of like state all your variables, then
Honestly,
write
it's
code.
good code.
Yeah. So next server you make, now you know what server you need to ask it how to make.
The forest.
Yeah, it'd be like no. Our recommendation would be never to make a Sons of the Forest uh server, which is just like you loading up an instance of the game with just a non-real player, always keeping the game alive or something like that.
It said certainly already.
Certainly.
This is in Linux though.
Oh, I guess we were always doing it in Windows.
We were doing it in Windows, probably because Linux was terrible. Let's tell it I don't have Linux.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm trying to run this on a Windows environment. Is it possible? Certainly.
Certainly. Yeah, no, yeah, it's there. That that might work,
It
which is
it might not.
crazy.
It might or it
No,
might not.
it might not.
But the amount of the amount of sources it searched to do that are just way quicker.
It took me longer to type that question than it did to tell me all this shit.
Yeah. So, hopefully set you on a path of maybe making your life a little easier with things.
Maybe it did. I only get ChatGPT 3.5. Maybe we'll see how it goes.
I think they let you do month to month. So even if you wanted to ever
They do, yeah.
try the
But honestly,
Discord
like,
intro.
that was pretty impressive. So
Yeah. I,
definitely need to remember that for the next time and see if,
and again, I would
because
recommend it even if it's just not even scripting, just a general Google question about something.
yeah,
It's just gonna search everything quicker and like hopefully boil you down into things maybe you should then drill into by yourself with Google.
mm-hmm,
But it might clear a bunch of the initial search.
yeah.
Um, oh, speaking of monthly, I I got an email saying like, oh, your F1 subscription is going up this year. It's I think $85 this year. And I'm like, damn, I'm only paying $80. I was only paying $80 for that.
For the whole year.
Yeah, which
That
is
doesn't
crazy
seem
because
bad.
no, because I'm getting F1 Academy too.
Yeah,
So I get F1, F2, F3, F1 Academy, and I think one other series, um, which I think is like a lesser series, but I think you get access to something else. Where's the email? Yeah, important. I'm like, that's just amazing deal. So it's 24 Grand Prix, um, Tech Off radio. You get all the cameras. There will be new ways. There will be new ways to watch across your devices coming soon too. I don't know what that means, but apparently something's changing.
Maybe they acquired the multi-viewer people.
Maybe. Yeah. So that was back to F1, but I just remember like I don't feel bad paying $85 a year for what we get in terms of it all.
It does seem like a lot most of the time.
Because I get all
Like
the
it's a lot of
practices. I
stuff.
get all the practices, all the qualifyings, all the races for all the series. Because I know we're gonna watch all the F1, and I watch all
Yeah,
the practices. I never watch practice 3 because it's always a tough one to watch because it's
I
like
feel
I
like
don't
I
want to
watch
go in
a
the app.
chunk of the practice.
And
I'm
then
I'm probably like a quarter to a half of practice I watch.
I will probably always watch the Academy with Ken, not with Ken Block's daughter, Lisa.
Leah,
Lisa, yeah,
Leah.
yeah. I'll probably watch them all, just because
I think I have a
consume
reminder for the first one, so we can start that. So
I just consume content. I have two guys in. I have two Williams drivers in F2 this year, so I'll probably get into that one again too.
yeah,
So
fair. I mean, the worst we can do is try it and hate it.
I just like content, so I'll probably just end up watching it. I don't know why it's more exciting than other racings. I started to try watching other racings, but it's just not as. The bikes are kind of fun, but it just doesn't always do it for me.
Yeah,
I want to like the GT racing, but this hasn't hooked me as well.
or like the Porsche, whatever. I think that might be another
The
form of GT, like the Cup car,
Endurance Cup, Porsche Endurance Cup, or something like that.
something like that. Yeah.
I forget what is WEC.
WRC,
WEC,
WEC. I'm not sure.
World Endurance Champion. That's that's the one with like the bubble wheel cars that you see like the in Le Mans anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't like the look of the cars, and I think that's what puts me off of that one. But I think people
Yeah.
like that one a lot.
Like what series? Yeah, I feel like the like Porsche GT cars, the Porsche Cup. Like that could be a cool thing.
Can we get like a I want like a loser car. Not a loser car, but I want like a
Do you want like Miata racing? Like
kinda.
factory Mazda Miata racing or something?
That'd be sick.
Because I think that's like, for instance, iRacing, the game.
Mhm.
First thing everyone that plays that game does is racing Miatas because you have to for your license.
Oh
Like that
really?
whole game has licenses and stuff that you can only do certain races with certain licenses. Everybody starts in a Miata.
I didn't know that. I don't play racing games. Did you?
Not iRacing, but I've played a lot of racing games, yeah.
Oh, iRacing. Okay, okay. Yeah. I got somehow attached to those subreddits and always recommends me like uh uh the stewards like was this a legal move? Should I be protesting this? And I'm like, okay.
Oh, I get the meme ones.
I get the
Where
non-meme
it's
ones.
oh no, I get the meme ones and it's like I'm the red Ferrari, who's at fault? And it's like this video of like people driving no red Ferrari anywhere. And then all of a sudden you're coming up to a chicane and this red Ferrari comes streaming through it like probably like 100 miles an hour over and takes some guy out going into the chicane. Hilarious, but
Um I think I sent you the one guy oh, it was I posted it the one day on and I added you, be like, oh, when I play Tarkov with you, and it was like the dude that does like the BMG driving stuff on YouTube, but like he always like
Oh yeah,
reacts when he hits
yeah,
something.
he's good.
Eh,
He's good.
He's like driving, he's like just smashes the car out of the way. He's like, I gave him a chance. I gave him a chance, and I just thought of like you when you just murder me in Tarkov, where you're just like, watch out, boom.
Watch out!
I
Watch out!
I looked at you and I gave you a chance to die. But yeah, he's another one I just thought of when you said meme, just like whipping things around. Um, oh, we're probably good there for this week. You know what they say, Bruno.
They say that's all. That's all we have time for.
On this week's episode of Thursdays Are the Best Days podcast, thanks for listening and goodbye.
See you later.